you haven't seen this before on one of the other ways that we connect, today's the first day we're live on Instagram. So we're live on Twitter, we're live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, we are live on Instagram. So this is our daily chat that we do every day at 3 o'clock Eastern and noon Pacific. So hope everybody is doing great. And I forgot to bring up the thing to say hello to everybody. So hang on here just a second. It's a new chat thing that I've got. So bringing that up to say hi to everybody. As you know, I appreciate the chance to do that. So hope you're having a good day. We just got back. Hey, Dwayne, good afternoon. I appreciate that. Thank you. Tammy and I just braved the elements, so to speak. We just got back from the grocery store and Smart and Final. We had Tammy had some gloves, the plastic gloves that she uses for cleaning. So it's not that we went out and got any, after all this thing started, but we just got back from making the trip. And one of the things I want to talk about today, I've got a couple of things we want to talk about, and one is common courtesy. I don't think it's asking too much to just be courteous when we're out and about. So we're shopping and at Smith's, which by the way, Smith's is like Kroger. It's owned by Kroger. Anyway, so we're just out shopping, and they were so good. They were making announcements, please be courteous, please, a whole bit. And this guy in the aisle that we are in sneezes and just kind of like does this, so everything hits his hand I just want to. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You couldn't, put. It's just incredible. So, look, I know we're not used to sneezing in our elbow. I know that we are not used to some of the things that we are now being asked to do. But for goodness sakes, I mean, let's just stop and think for a minute. Here's the problem. I'll bet you dollars to donuts that the people that are watching this are not the people that's going to sneeze like that at the supermarket. The people watching this are already the people it works this way in business. It works this way all the time, that the people that need to hear the message are never the people that want, it's like a sales conference. We'll put on like our ultimate business summit that Larry Winget and Randy Pennington and I do. The people that are there, Ted Stark, good to see you. The people like Ted that are there, these are people that are extraordinary to begin with. It gets me like at a sales conference, the people who are selling the most are always the ones on the front row, and the people that aren't selling are the ones in the back that aren't paying attention. Wouldn't you think that people would kind of go, wait a minute, maybe I need to know that. Maybe that's something that I need to pay more attention to or to get more involved with and sit in the front row and soak it up. But instead, it's the people that are already achieving that are the ones that are up front. It's just, it's absolutely crazy. So anyway, hey, Jay Kemp, good to see you joining us on Instagram. Brad, people are afraid to make eye contact at the grocery store now. I know. I felt like, we're shopping and I felt like we were stealing, because, oh boy, I got that one bottle of Clorox spray. Crazy. And no toilet paper, by the way, at any place that we went to today. So anyway, I've got a couple things I want to talk about. One of them was being courteous. So, but it strikes me the people that are watching this and the people that are participating in this are the people that's already courteous as they work there. Colin, great to see you every day. I love it that it takes a pandemic for people to know they shouldn't sneeze on people that are washing your hands. It's a good idea. Other than the isolation that we're doing, what's different about what we should be doing anyway, right? I mean, we should be, covering our mouths and using tissues and washing our hands and doing all that anyway. You're exactly right. Exactly right. Kirby, so great to see you, man. How you doing in Richmond? I was thinking about you yesterday with the stuff about Liberty University reopening. Interesting. So anyway, hope you're doing great, man. I know it's a changing and challenging time. And Bill, always great to see you. Hi on Instagram. It's like church, the people in the front want the information. Yeah, exactly. The people in the front are the people who are probably doing everything that the minister's talking about anyway, right? So, but that's not why I sit in the back. I just want to for people that go to the same church, yeah. Hey, investing in stock. I've got buddies. I do a lot of speaking in the financial services industry, and one of the great things that they say is, "Hey, stock's on sale. Right? We're having a sale on Wall Street right now." So, Alan, good to see you. Thank you for being here today. Gosh, this thing keeps growing every day. We get more and more people all the time through all the different formats. So, in case it's your first day being here, I go at noon Pacific, 3 o'clock Eastern. I'm going to go live every day while we're going through this, and we're going to talk about some of the things to hopefully charge your battery and lift your spirit and kind of build a community here of folks talking with each other, and just give you an idea or two every day that we can be thinking about to kind of keep going in these times of challenge and change, right? So it's live on Facebook. It's live on Twitter through Periscope. It's live on my YouTube channel. Starting today, we're live on Instagram as well. And I've started a new internet radio station. It's called Distinction Radio, and it's 24/7. And you can get ideas and motivation and business ideas 24/7 on Distinction Radio. That's on Live 365 and radio.co. We're going to be expanding that, but if you go on Twitter, every hour it posts a link, so you can check that out. So got something really important to talk to you about as well. Hey, good to see you again, Nyla. And good manners was part of our upbringing. What in the world happened? You're exactly right. We were taught to be better than that. Hey, Scott, gosh, it's good to see you. I watch your messages online as well. So, man, I really appreciate you and the great words you bring and the challenges. Man, you have had some challenges to overcome. So Scott's a great follow, by the way, if you don't already follow him on social media. It's really terrific. Can I order the VHS tapes? Hey, Bill. Bill just asked on Instagram, can I order VHS tapes? We're kind of out of those right now. We do have some betas left over. No, not really. Hey, Ernest, good to see you. By the way, and I want to repeat in case you missed yesterday, one of the points of feedback that I got, and I thought it was absolutely great feedback, was that I got so busy shouting out to people because I'm so grateful that you're here. I never finished a story. So part of what I'm doing is I'm going to make certain that I start a story and finish a story before I start doing more shout outs. But I please know I'm very, very grateful that you're here. And please know that I appreciate so much that you'd spend a few minutes with me. I want to talk about a couple of things today. And the first one is how we think during a time of challenge. One of the things that always happens during a time of challenge is it alters the way that we think. Now, for some people, it can improve it. It can sharpen our focus. For other people, it presents unique challenges. Here's what I mean by that. If you notice, some people during times of change make snap decisions that might not necessarily be the best thing for the long haul. In other words, I got to jump, I got to do something, I got to make something happen, and because of that pressure that they're feeling, they try to do something that will get an instant return, but might not be the right decision over an extended period of time. And the best way that we can fight this is just to recognize that it happens, to understand that sometimes when you are feeling stress or pressure or something very different, that you might not be making the right decision over the long haul. So one of the best ways that you can do that is just step back. Just take a moment, take a breath. It's kind of the old thing, counting to 10, right? Just take a moment. The best thing that you can do is to recognize that there are things that you might be deciding, there are things that you might be choosing that are just an instant response, but not necessarily the right response over an extended period of time. So investments, perhaps, or relationships, perhaps, whatever it might be. I just want to encourage you. I'm not saying you're making the wrong decision at all. I don't know what your decisions are, and I don't know what your challenges are. But I do want to suggest that we hit the pause button. Just tap the brakes a little bit on some of the decisions that you might be making, whether it's a career decision or a personal decision or a financial decision. Just tap the brakes a little bit and give yourself, I used to call this in seminars, I used to call it soak time, S-O-A-K. Give yourself some time to contemplate, time for things to soak in, and don't be pressured into a decision by the pressure of the moment. That's one of the most important things that we can understand, is that we don't want to be pressured into a decision based upon what's happening right now and the pressure of the moment. So message number one for today, don't be afraid to tap the brakes. The world has certainly, it's slowed down. And so why not use that to give you a little bit of extra time to make some of the decisions that you might currently be contemplating? Because we do know from research, we do know from everything out there that when times are challenging and difficult, we tend to think a little bit differently than we would if it was during times when things seem to be normal. Tap the brakes. It's okay. You can still make the same decision. There's very few decisions that we make that if we would wait a day or a week, that the decision still isn't just as valid. So don't be afraid to tap the brakes. Hey, Dwayne, that's a great point. When the times get tough get going. Absolutely. Kathy, great to see you. Yes, shred the virus. We could do that. And Oliver, man, good to see you. Hey, I would love to do that. Oliver, my friend Oliver has this incredible software, Memo Live, that is used by folks, and I would love to do that. So thank you. That would step this up remarkably. So I appreciate that. And everybody check it out. You can find it in the App Store, and you can find it other places. Is Memo Live. Do you think that those mindset changes actually last for people and become habit? That's a great question, Colin. People make temporary changes during times like this, but eventually fall back into the old patterns. You know, Colin, I'm really glad you brought that up, because one of the things that I've been thinking about here lately too is that, for example, right after 9/11, man, we all came together, and so many people said, you know, let's hope we stay this way. Let's hope as a nation we're together, and let's hope. And over a period of time, we kind of went back to the way that it's always been. And I did we change? I mean, some, maybe, perhaps. I don't know. I hope that this gets us thinking more about health. I hope it gets us thinking more about hygiene. I hope it gets us thinking more about how globally connected we are. Isn't it amazing? You know, Prince Charles tested positive. Tom Hanks, Jackson Brown have all tested positive for this virus that started in a place that few of us really had heard of in China, and it shows how globally interconnected that we are. I would hope we would think about some of the things like that, but I don't know. One of the things, though, I think is different about this time, as opposed to 9/11, was that 9/11 was an event. Right? It happened in one day, right? 9/11. This, because of the extended period of time that it's happening, I think has a greater potential to make changes because we are involved in this on a daily basis for an extended period of time. It might change how we think about technology and connecting virtually. It might change how we think about friendship and the need for people to be together because we realize how much we miss it. I saw a post the other day on Instagram that said, for all those invitations that I turned down, please know I'll go wherever you want me to as soon as this is over, right? I mean, we realize that the importance and the power of the personal connection. So this does have the potential to be different. I hope these lessons are lasting, but in all candor, I think the jury's still out on that. Hey, Oliver, thanks for the link. I appreciate that. Jerry, pain has a way of making one decide that change is required. My hope for this is to be a better society. Perfectly said, my friend. That is absolutely great. And I'm waving to the folks on Instagram that are waving hi right now, too. I really appreciate that. Dwayne has a question. If your business or industry is offering some great deals or discounts during this situation, is not to spam and overwhelm people, what's your recommendation to let them know? Dwayne, we did not have this set up, but that was the second thing I was going to talk about today. I listen a little bit almost every day to the late, great Jim Rohn. If you have never listened to Jim Rohn, or if you don't know who Jim Rohn is, I can't recommend it highly enough. Jim Rohn was Tony Robbins' mentor. When Tony Robbins was a teenager, he worked at the back of the room helping Jim Rohn and followed him around. And Jim Rohn was the mentor for Tony Robbins. And Tony has bigger fans than I, but nonetheless, the contribution that he has made and through him that Jim Rohn continues to make is really something. Well, anyways, The Art of Exceptional Living is on audible.com. If you haven't heard Jim Rohn yet, and it's kind of an acquired taste because he has a unique way of expressing himself. And winner, chicken dinner. Yeah, he has a unique way of expressing himself. But one of the things that Jim Rohn said that I was listening to yesterday was this: don't bring your need to the marketplace. Bring your seed to the marketplace. In other words, bring what you can plant and help others to grow, but don't bring your needs to the marketplace because the marketplace doesn't respond to your needs. It responds to what you can help your customers plant to help them grow. And I think that's a really powerful message for today, is that don't bring your need, bring your seed to the market. And I think part of what, Dwayne, the phenomenon that you're talking about and the phenomenon I've certainly experienced is that we see so many people bringing their need to the market. But yet as customers, we have our own needs. You know, my job as a customer is to solve my problems and to solve my needs, not necessarily to help you take care of yours. I want to help you because I want to be that type of person, but that my primary goal is to take care of my business and my family and my situation. And so if you're bringing me your need, it's not something that I'm going to be able to respond to because I'm going to take care of my needs first. I have to. It's like the airplane, right? When you're flying, they say, you know, put your mask on first, then help others, because if you're not taking care of yourself, then you can't help others. A line when Tammy and I started dating, one of the lines I kept saying to her because she's such a giving person is, you know, if your bucket is empty, there's nothing there for you to give. You have to take care of your bucket first before you can pour it out and help others. And I think that's part of the problem that we're seeing right now is that so many people are marketing based on their need and not the customers. And I see this all the time. And I worry too that if you cut your price so much based upon your need, how do you ever charge the price that you had before? I mean, I see people go into the market and saying, you know, I've decided well, in what I do, for example, as excuse me, speaker trainer, I see people saying, you know, my virtual training program is, pick a number, $499, but during this difficult time, it's $29. How do you ever go back to charging $499 if you just said I can sell it to you for $29? You're bringing your need to the marketplace as opposed to really having the value of the price of the seeds that you're planting. So I get it. This, as a speaker who only makes money I shouldn't say only, but the bulk of my income is based on showing up at an event and giving a speech. It's a challenging time. It's a scary time. That's just the way it is. But I think we also have to be aware that people don't want to hear our need right now because they have such compelling needs of their own that what we have to do is to bring our seed to the market, not our need to the market. And so, Dwayne, to answer that question that really tied into what I was going to talk about anyway as much, the spam is when we are trying desperately to sell to somebody because that's based on what our situation is, not theirs. But when we come to them based on a viewpoint of how do I help, you know, here's some needs that you have. For example, you know, now's not a particularly good time to be out there selling, but it's a great time to be out there helping, right? I mean, it's a great time to be out there helping. Don't discount the product, throw in a bonus. Yeah, Rita, I think that's great advice, you know. That's part of what we're trying to do as well, is to offer help and assistance but yet maintain the integrity of the pricing that was there before. Because if you're so desperate that you're giving it away, then how do you with integrity go back? Now, look, in the speaking business, we talk a lot about fee integrity. Look, my integrity has to be to my bank, right? My integrity has to be to my family. So, if you've got a meeting, if times were normal, if you had a meeting in 2 weeks in Las Vegas and I can drive 15 minutes and speak, you're going to get a better deal than if you're booking it 9 months in advance and I've got to fly to Australia to do it, right? I mean, that just makes sense. But I shouldn't be doing it now for, $100. You cannot discount what you do to that high of a level. So I think it's really important that we understand that and stick in there and bring our seed to the marketplace, not our need to the marketplace. Let's see. Let me catch up on a couple things. Kathy, I want to help others, especially nurses who are on the front line. Kathy, by the way, if you don't know Kathy Dempsey, she is just one of the outstanding folks out there in the business that I'm in speaking and all that. And she works so much in healthcare. And Kathy, I've been thinking about you because I know the folks that you speak to are the folks that are really on the front line of all this. And so anything you do to bring your message to them to help lighten their load a little bit, man, that is so important. Thank you. I appreciate it, Dwayne. As you know, you don't set prices, you pass them along, but I'm glad you like the meat of the message. Hey, Kevin, hope you're doing great. Humanize your message, encourage conversation, listen first, promote less. I love that. Look at that acronym for HELP. If you're watching on something else and not seeing what Kevin is saying on Facebook, let me pass along. He's using an acronym that says HELP. H is humanize your message. E is encourage conversation. L is listen first. And P is promote spam less. Humanize your message, encourage conversation, listen first, promote less. Wow, that does it. Oh my gosh, I'm looking down here on Instagram and Suzanne Evans is giving me a thumbs up, and I'm telling you, if you talk about somebody that I admire and somebody that is absolutely spectacular, it's Suzanne Evans. Suzanne, I am so glad you're here. Thank you so much. Hey, Chris, good to see you. God, man, you're the best. I appreciate you being here, too. Doing great. Look forward to talking to you soon. I hope we get a chance to connect. Let's talk soon. So, hey, everybody, that's all I had on the agenda for today. But once again, the reminder, and we're just doing it live on Instagram for the first time. But going to be live every day at this time on Facebook, on Twitter, on Distinction Radio, and all that. And thank you, Suzanne. I appreciate that. Suzanne says, glad I caught you. Love your perspective on almost everything. You're the best. I appreciate you. I make my living with the words, but I don't have the ones to describe how much I admire you and how much I appreciate all that you do. So look forward to talking to you soon. Chris, always great seeing you, and look forward to connecting with everybody again. Tomorrow, I'll have a couple more topics to talk about. If you got any questions that you'd like for me to bat around while we're doing this every day, please post them on social media, send it to me on email, whatever it takes. So thanks, everybody. I'm honored and grateful that you'd spend your time listening to this today, and I look forward to talking to you this time again tomorrow. Have a great afternoon.